The New York Post, ex-Tennessee cop Meagan Hall fired over sex trysts with 6 other officers, settles Fed lawsuit that will cost city whopping $500,000. Now, you remember this story was like from a year ago. This female police officer in Tennessee in a small town police department, had relations with 6 other officers, and she had a three-way with at least one of the officers and that officer's wife. There's a big scandal, right? She got called out for it. And now we see that the consequences of her bad behavior is that she gets paid $500,000. Let's see. We got a little video here of her riding a bull. There she goes. I'm not going to turn on the sound because there's music with it, but you can see her. This is what she likes to do. Okay, bring up an ad here. There you go. So, a former Tennessee cop who got axed for her tryst with 6 other officers on the job has settled her federal civil lawsuit against her former employer for a whopping $500,000, according to reports. See, this is what is wrong with the world today. The bad guys are winning. All too often, the bad guys are winning. We see, you got this right over here. Look, this image of Trump. I don't want to defend Trump. I'm not here to defend Trump, but it's obvious that these lawsuits against him are they're trumped up. They're trumped up lawsuits. And we got the most recent one here where they went after him for his New York property dealings, and everything was above board. Everything was agreed upon, signed on the dotted line. But no, it was fraud. Okay. Whatever. I don't know what to tell you. It's the bad guys are winning is all. It's whether or not you think Trump is a bad guy, that's a different story. The fact of the matter is what he did was not bad in these retail dealings that he had in New York City that he's been accused of committing fraud on. Meagan Hall, who claimed she was sexually groomed, how you groomed as an adult, by a cadre of male colleagues on the force, sued the city of Laverne last year after word of her raunchy romps made national headlines. Yeah, you notice how the romps make national headlines, and then it's like, oh, I'm a victim, because it was all fine and dandy until she got called out for her bad behavior. On Wednesday, the Laverne board voted 3-1. Well, that one guy, the one guy there, voted right. He's a good guy. At a special meeting to settle the suit. The Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen voted tonight to authorize the mayor to sign a settlement agreement between the city of Laverne and the former police officer Meagan Hall. City leaders wrote in the statement. The agreement was negotiated between the attorneys representing the city and Hall. The statement said the city's insurance provider will pay the sum of $500,000 to Hall as a gross settlement, which includes court costs, attorney's fees, and expenses. Okay, well, that's going to bring that amount down. $500,000, if you make $50,000 a year, that's what, 12 and a half years of pay? And you're probably thinking, you don't know math, anti-work warrior, that's 10 years of pay. No, because you have taxes taken out of that $50,000, so it's going to be like 12 and a half years of pay if you consider the taxes. But now that she's going to pay attorney's fees and she's going to pay expenses and court costs, it's going to be like $100,000 she gets. So what's that then? Like 2.5 years worth of pay is all she's getting out of it. But still, she should be getting nothing. Her and these officers who engage in this behavior should all be canned, and they should never be hired on as public servants again. It's like you're going to abuse your office, you abuse your powers. I mean, obviously they didn't abuse their powers, but I mean, they abused their office. They did not treat the office well. What can you do? The city denies any admission of liability, and no taxpayer funds will be spent to settle this lawsuit. I don't know about that. Hall, 28, made national headlines last year after her station house sexcapades went public, including affairs with her supervisor, Sergeant Lewis Powell, and others. According to the internal investigation, Hall hooked up with several colleagues, sent them nude pictures, and went topless in a Girls Gone Wild themed hot tub party, and even performed mouth stuff on 2 cops while on duty. Yeah, it must not be a lot of crime in Laverne. She also allegedly had a threesome with one of the cops and his wife, according to the city's report. The Yankee Panky cost several of the male cops their jobs, including Powell. Should have cost all of them their jobs. I already said that. The shocking investigation report included findings that then Police Chief Burrell Chip Davis, who was fired over the scandal, not only knew about Hall's hookups, but joked about the situation with others in the city. Yeah, that's unprofessional behavior. What are you doing? This is just ridiculous. All these cops were unprofessional in that situation. And why would you want to be with this? All right, let's go. This woman is not attractive. She looks better here than she did up above, but she's not attractive And we look up here, and this picture, the woke, the feminazis, they always want to sit here and say, look, there's femcells. There's femcells out there. You complain about incels, but there's femcells too. Look at this. This is a face only a mother could love, and yet she was getting railed by 6 dudes and at least 1 woman. And had a husband. Wow. Yeah. The ex-top cop also joked about a 13-minute video that allegedly showed Hall touching herself, which was shared among some of the male cops inside the department. Yeah. So this is Officer Magliocco. This guy right here. This is the one that she supposedly had a 3-way with. Well, they want to bring up their ads up there. She had an affair with her supervisor, St. Louis. This must be Louis Powell. And Hall claimed she had relations with this Seneca Shields. Here we go. Get this up here. Seneca Shields as well. So that guy. In her lawsuit, Hall claimed that her encounters began with an affair with Powell and led to others in the department targeting her until she gave in to their sexual advances. No. You're an adult. You're in a situation where this is a work-related incident. You go to your supervisor and say, look, these men are coming on to me, and that's inappropriate behavior for the workplace. Problem solved. Right there. That will be escalated up to and including firing of the people who are sexually aggressing on you. That's how it works. I know what most people are saying, she said during the first public comments about the scandal in March 2023. You could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is I did say no, and Powell wouldn't take for an answer. I'm assuming they're supposed to say no in there. Eventually, I gave in from pressure. Wouldn't take no for an answer. That's illegal. That is illegal. I ran into this when I was a teenager the first time. Some girl, oh, you don't understand. He wouldn't take no for an answer. Well, that's a violation. That's forced intimacy. You're not allowed to do that in our country. So even as a teenager, I knew that was not a good excuse. You wouldn't take no for an answer. Yeah, okay. Hall's lawyer, Wesley Clark, said last year that the young ex-cop never had a chance. Sure she didn't. Meagan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted, Clark said. She was looked at like a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited. Officials in Laverne did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Post. Hall blamed her randy behavior on a troubled marriage. Well, a troubled marriage. What was so bad about your marriage that you could not get bent over and wrecked by your husband every single day? What was happening there? Was it your own personal immaturities getting in the way of having a loving relationship? I don't know. I mean, maybe your husband was a piece of crap. I don't know. But I'm going with it's probably she was being a little butthead and letting her feelings get in the way of just loving her husband and her husband loving her. So, despite Laverne's decision to settle the suit, one board member refused to sign off. What message does that send to all the other employees? City Alderman Dennis Waldron wrote in a dissenting vote. It's sending the message out to everybody in the world that says, come to Laverne, sue Laverne because they're going to settle. Yeah. Well, what it's saying is come to Laverne, become a public official, have all sorts of randy sexual experiences, and then get paid out by the city. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Elev Man, we got comments on here. Elev Man says the insurance company is on the hook for the settlement, and then we wonder why our insurance premiums are through the roof. This is why we need tort reform. Plaintiff loses a lawsuit, then they must pay the defendant's lawyer's bills. A lot of frivolous lawsuits would disappear. Steve P says attorney's fees $150K plus expenses, so she's left with maybe $300K after taxes, about $175K state and federal taxes. Not big money, really. She's going to need to work, but now has a damaged reputation. Sad. Do they tax lawsuit winnings? I'm not sure that happens. I don't know. Maybe it does in Tennessee. Well, then there's federal too. So I know different states tax differently. Like California here, if I win the lottery, for example, I don't have to pay taxes to California. I just have to pay federal taxes. I don't know how that works with lawsuits. She was groomed. Good Lord. She was an adult who had every chance and mental faculty to say, no, I'm not doing this. She wasn't intoxicated and under the influence of drugs, to my knowledge. And yeah, taxpayers' funds will be used to pay this out. Maybe not directly, but police insurance rates will certainly rise from this taking more tax dollars away from other needed services. Yep. So it's just a big mess. It's BS. Bad guys are winning all too often. That's what we see happening in the world today. So good luck getting getting what you want out of this world anymore. I mean, there was a time when you could expect to work hard, get ahead, get a place to live, have your own little kingdom. But things like this happening, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, get your passport, get out of the states if you're looking at dating, because I mean, these are what your options are right here. This train wreck, getting wrecked by a train, that's kind of commonplace in the United States. So I don't get these girls here in the U.S. Don't get them. So, but that's the way it is these days. Good luck out there, fellas. Get your passports, like I said, and I'll see you in the next video.